Best, Mitchell. I just asked Jarrod to jump on. I think it was yesterday, and he decided he would jump on with me. And I appreciate that, Jarrod, for being online with me here today. Saturdays are normally the day when I relax a little bit and have some live streaming. What do you call it? Just testing as well as have people on. Yeah, some fun. So I'm really, really, really happy to have you on. I think we would have met back in 2013. Do you remember that?
No.
You don't remember that? Okay,
please bring that up. No.
Let me remind you how we met. All right, so let me take this off. Let me hide you.
Hi, my name is Jarrod. I'm the Territory Manager for Nokia Trinidad, and I'm here at the Telios Code Jam event as one of the silver sponsors. Nokia Trinidad is proud to be part of this event because we recognize the potential of the young programmers that participate at these events to build their various apps. And we want to use our Windows Phone device, which is the Nokia Lumias, as part of these prizes that the users will use to continue developing their apps to place on these platforms. So we are definitely happy to be here, and we look forward to be definitely a contributor in the following events.
Yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing back in the day.
I remember that, but that was so long ago. Wow.
Yeah. You were. Let me tell you. I was like, I know this dude, and I went back and searched in the archives, and I found that we did that video for Telios Code Jam. You were there. So I have some questions about that and the journey. But before we do that, let's tell the people who you are. Some people may not know. Tell the people who you are, and tell the people what you're about.
Oh, so Jarrod Best Mitchell. I am for the last 2 years I've been a sales trainer and a LinkedIn coach. But before that, I've actually spent the last 13 years in corporate, stemming all the way from Digicel to DHL to Nokia, Microsoft, and Samsung. So been working with international companies on a local basis down here, and have been extremely successful in sales. And it's just something that I am ridiculously obsessed with, and that's just one of my 3 obsessions. I always tell persons it's sales, LinkedIn, and the color yellow. Those are things that I'm obsessed with on a daily basis, and do everything in my power to learn one new thing about it every day.
Yeah, most definitely. I met you and I had no idea what you did, but it makes sense now seeing what you've been doing on LinkedIn. Selena is saying here on LinkedIn, look at your expression, is meme worthy after seeing that video.
No, she's right. I tell her, I was like, what? It's like, where you pull this from?
Yeah. We've been around a little bit too. So we have some images and some videos of people that they'd be surprised to see. So I just so happen to have one of you.
Nah, you catch more off guard there. You definitely win. You catch more off guard.
All right, so let's jump more into some of the things that you do, and let me talk a little bit about sales. So you said that you're obsessed with sales.
Yes.
I know sales is something that I saw the term, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, that no matter what your title is, that everyone is in sales. Do you think that's a true statement?
Yeah, because the thing is, what people don't realize is that, remember, sales is about convincing somebody of your viewpoint. So lawyers are salespeople. If you're trying to convince your boss of an idea, you're a salesperson. It's just that we are actually in the core role of actively doing it. But the only difference now is that our role in some way or form actually generates income for an organization. But at the end of the day, we're all salespeople, even from the moment we're born. Like when it is we kept asking our parents to buy us a lolly or candy or some kind of thing. Like we were in sales, we were trying to convince somebody to do something for us, and in that case was to spend money. So I think it's so interesting that a lot of people don't see it that way, but at the end of the day, everybody is actually in sales. Everyone.
Yeah, and I didn't even realize that was the case. It's only after I started to see some of your content and I was more active on LinkedIn, I realized, but wait, now I'm in sales too. So I had been selling things for a while, but it just never dawned on me. So it kind of now moves me to a place of being deliberate. Do you think that everybody should, in fact, be deliberate about selling?
Yes, they should. And I think that's where a lot of entrepreneurs fall short, because I keep seeing it from entrepreneurs. Even just yesterday, I was talking to someone, they're trying to run a program, and they want to ask people, but they said I don't want to come across as salesy. And I cannot tell you how that upsets me to my core, because every time you meet entrepreneurs who want to do business, they always say, I want to do this, but I don't want to ask people because I don't want to come across salesy. And I just keep thinking, it's not salesy though. If you're trying to help somebody and your products or service can genuinely help somebody be better, do something faster, or create something that they didn't have existing, like, it's not salesy, you're a value creator. Like, that's how I look at what I do. So even back then when I was doing stuff for Nokia, it was to show people, like, look at the benefits of what Windows Phone can do. It's something that was different. Like, I was hardcore into it, and I think that was one of the things I was known that was my advantage. Like, I was tell persons, I'm like, again, when I get obsessed about something, I will make you just as excited about it. Right. That is just my general thing. I could pass on that enthusiasm, which is another big factor.
Right. So you think the new salesy is value creation? Is that? Can I say that, or there's a different way to say that?
No, you're correct, because it is value creation, because that's what we're doing. I think the ones who keep seeing sales as being salesy, they keep thinking about how some of these, and it's not to bash any industries, like how you've seen some of these people with the multi-level marketing schemes to get you onto stuff, or the people who have these little quick rich schemes, like, yeah, that is salesy stuff, and that's not even technically sales, that's a scheme. But sales itself is involved in the process of, if I have a product or service and I know it could help you, Juma, and I could talk to you about it, I'm not being pushy, I'm not being salesy, I am just actually trying to provide you value.
Yeah, and I think that's a good way to look at it. I think that your method, what I've seen of you on LinkedIn in particular, you've always kind of talked about different methods and approaches. And in your mind, what is the approach, if you could categorize it, what is the approach that someone should take now as a content creator, as an entrepreneur, when thinking about sales?
That's a good point. A good question. My first thing is, I would, and I think you would like this answer, I would focus on content first. But here's why. If I have a business, the more content I could put out, the faster I could build trust with strangers, which means that when I start to engage with you now and approach you, you'd have seen my content somewhere that allows you to have that familiarity with me, so that my approach isn't cool, but it's warm. I don't know if you all ever saw, like, one of my favorite movies of all time is Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street. Remember we did that?
When I look at the sales scenes, that what he does, like when he went into the investor center the first time and he did the call, like you notice at the start of the call, it wasn't a cold call. He said, "Hey Juma, you would have gotten something from me in the mail." That is his warm up, because you would have seen my content somewhere. And I think for now, a lot of people, where they get the challenge now is that you're not putting out content. You're trying that, and which is something you have to do. You're not sending information to your potential customer about you before you make that outreach, and that could honestly help shorten your call. Because if you notice with how I put out content, it is done in such a way where when people approach me, they're at the buying stage. It's not trying to discover what I do or anything. They understand that based on the content. What they have the call with me on is just to say, this is my scenario. How would you treat with it? Great. That's what I want. Let's do business. That's where people are at in my pipeline. And that's why I believe content now, depending on the industry, actually serves a huge, huge role. And if companies aren't doing it right now, they're actually giving themselves more work to do with regards to actually closing sales.
That's excellent. And I think, let me just prove your point and show that you've been very, very consistent in doing that. Let me just show this in the stream now. So this is what you've been saying all along. Right, this is one of your videos, some for LinkedIn. Let's solo this and play.
Do real research, boy.
Okay, let me go back. Let me run it again.
Here's some LinkedIn advice. If you really want to get into people's DMs and have a higher success rate when you pitch them about whatever products or services you're selling, ensure that you're creating content on the platform. Ensure that you're sharing advice and information first that could help that actual ideal person that you're going to reach out to in the DMs. Here's some LinkedIn advice.
Yeah.
If you really want to get into
that you're extremely consistent with your messaging, which is
and if anybody's on LinkedIn now, you would realize, and this is something I was talking about, the people who are only spamming people in their DMs and with bad pictures and copy and pasting, they have zero content. There's nothing going on their profile, nothing that speaks
Right.
about their product. Like there's nothing. So it's just funny, but yeah, content for me right now is the biggest game changer. Biggest game changer.
That's excellent. That's excellent. So I heard you on a podcast recently, and one of the things that you said is that you have a short attention span and you tend to move on when you get bored.
Yep.
And so I that made me think about what is your process of finding new challenges? How do you find new things to challenge you, particularly in regard to sales, but in anything else?
Well, I think right now, all right, so let's give an example. So like when I was in corporate, so like when I left Digicel the first time, it was boredom. It was literally, and that was me trying to understand sales. So I was in charge of the public sector, and I was growing that by 28% every month. It was real massive growth because I realized something in terms of what B Mobile did that wasn't being covered for government, and I just attacked that sector. So I was able to grow it. But then I realized it was becoming predictable. And my mind came up with a challenge, and my mind said, are we good at mobile phone sales or are we good at sales?
Right.
And I was young, let's go get another job and see if we're just good at sales, because I want to test out what I'm doing. And that's why I actually left. So even like the last day I left Digicel, I actually closed a sale, which was like 110% of my target.
Wow.
And my boss is like, why are you leaving? I'm like, because I knew that sale was coming. It was predictable. And I was like, I need a challenge. It's like, I'm bored. I was like, if you have something for me, cool. But if not, I want to do something else.
Right.
And then even when I left, like I spent a year in DHL, and when I left, I went to Nokia. And even in that 2.5 years in Nokia, I remember talking to my boss, and I said, I want your job, but what skills am I missing to get this job?
Mm-hmm.
Because I realized it's something I want to do. I saw the growth. I know I could grow in an organization. So I asked the question. So for me, if it is that you can't entertain me, and I mean entertain with challenges and stuff in the organization, I will get bored. But what I do now to keep my attention span, as I say, is I am pushing for new challenges. Like right now, I have 2 new very audacious goals with sales training that I want to do right now.
Right.
And I think because I'm coming up with ideas that people aren't doing, like I have one that's going to launch in July, which nobody has done. So I'm always like, one thing I always feel happy for is first to market. So just like how I'm doing just like how we introduced our conference, first to market. This idea I'm coming with, first to market. I'm just anything that I could test, even if it might fail, I'm willing to do. That's where my attention span is at now.
So are we going to get an exclusive here? Are you going to give us a sneak peek or give us some clue as to what this first to market thing will be next month? In the month of July, Jarrod said he's going to launch something new. That's something brand new from you, yes?
Yeah, it's specifically targeted towards insurance advisors to help them sell better.
All right, so
because I would say it not to bash them, because I've done work for both Sagicor and Guardian on high levels. How they train them is wrong. How they train them is not what buyers want now.
Right.
And that's what the whole idea is geared towards.
Okay, great. So there's an insurance product coming online for sales next month with Jarrod. This is an exclusive. He's seen it right here on the live today with me. So that we'll look out for that. Are you going to start talking about that more on LinkedIn first next month?
Right after the conference, I'll start talking about it. I already have a decent amount of the groundwork done, because it's not really complex to execute.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's just to provide the insight and the knowledge to the insurance advisors who sign up for it. So yeah, it's in the works.
Okay, great. So you mentioned that you left the corporate world to do your own sales and to develop yourself as a person, and to develop as a salesperson, as a company, to get into business for yourself. And that would have been in November 2019, yes?
Yep.
Okay, great. So that one of the things that entrepreneurs always want to know is that when people actually take the leap into the thing that they love and they're doing it on their own, what was that like? So I want you to describe to me what was being on your own for the first month like.
It wasn't scary. But here's the thing. If it is that your plans to go on your own, if you have your business and you're trying to go on your own, you need to build your personal brand first. So even though I like to say nothing happens until a sale is made, when it comes to entrepreneurship, you better build that personal brand first. Yeah. Because like the minute when I left Samsung, I put out a video saying that I was in Samsung. So I geared my audience up for it. And then I started to reach out to people. So it had opportunities coming in from the onset. So it was automatically there. So that's what I would tell people. You need to, like, it would be scary for some, because I know a lot of people are sometimes forced into entrepreneurship, as in it just happened and they have to switch to it. That could be scary, but I was fortunate where I was doing stuff on LinkedIn for years. People knew about me. I was doing stuff on sales. People knew about me. That was the first year of the conference, so we had a lot of hype and energy coming from that as well. So myself and Lyndon was known. So that kind of offsets and created a good level for me. So like, it honestly wasn't bad. Like, even in my first year entrepreneurship, I think I was shy of 10 or 15% of the income I earned when I was working at Samsung.
Okay, not bad, not bad.
So I was happy. So, but again, if I didn't spend time building that personal brand, when I couldn't have gotten it done. As I say, it just created warm introductions.
So you mentioned yourself and Lyndon. So you consider yourself a team guy?
Yeah. But yes, but I'm very selective in who I work with.
All right. But sales is often seen as an individual sport. How can I be the best performer? How can I outsell everyone else? How do you reconcile the two things?
Reconcile in what sense? In terms of, like,
being the best individual salesperson while still working together with a team. How those two things work together?
No, but you cannot listen. Even in individual sales like insurance, real estate, etc., even in some companies, you cannot win by yourself. Even if it is that and I'm not even saying collaborate with other sales reps. I'm even talking about your back-end support, like your admin and stuff. You cannot operate by yourself. You cannot win. Like, I have a VA, I have a business partner, which is Lyndon. Lyndon and I do projects together and separate. That you cannot win this by yourself, even if you're working for an organization. Even when I work for organizations, I would constantly collaborate with other people, because you cannot get something done by yourself. It's not possible. Even if it is, the execution of it will probably be horrible. You have to collaborate if you want to win. Like, I learned, I remember even when I was in Digicel, it had a point where I used to do as much as I can for the admin staff, because that they're the ones who push through my orders. So you can't do it by yourself. Sorry, it's not possible. Maybe when you're in front of the customer and they sign the document, yeah, that's you. But overall, you cannot do this by yourself.
Yeah, and so to prove that point, this is a meme that you posted.
I really love this research you're doing, us. I really love this right now.
Yeah, so this is something that Jarrod posted on LinkedIn, and he had a whole thing to go with it. I wouldn't tell you what it is. Go on his profile, look for this meme, and see what he says about collaboration and the power of team. Go do your own research on Jarrod. Go check it out. But this is the meme and you can see, we all know this is something relatable. I'm from that time, Captain Planet. Let our powers combine. Yep. Captain Planet comes out. In your case, a massive sales team comes out. So it's good. So very, very consistent in your messaging, Jarrod.
Nice.
Hold on. What did I do here? Added another window. Let me. I'm adding more windows and I don't know how to take them off. How do I? Let me hide this. Okay, that's hidden, and let me hide this one, and that's hidden as well. So therefore, we good. All right. So I wanna share something with you now. Now, you mentioned earlier on that your one of your favorite movies, especially when it comes to sale, is The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yes.
That's true? Okay, good. So I want to share with you one of my favorite sales clips, and I want you to analyze it. Now, it's a little bit left field. It might seem a little strange, but you will tell me what you think about this guy.
Or different movie?
Different movie, different thing altogether.
Nice. I like that. Let me see.
I'll show you. It's not what you expect. It's not what you would expect, right? And you'll tell me what you think about this sales. Now, I'm gonna show it in the stream, right? Let me hide us so it could be solo.
Let me see if I guess what movie might be coming up here. If I guess it, I'm good. I'm thinking of one movie.
There's no way you're gonna guess it.
It's not mentioned in sales. It's not mentioned in sales, but I think it's a great sales movie.
No, it's not from a sales movie. It's not what you're gonna expect. 100%.
All right.
You're gonna be shocked. Possibly.
Hey, I didn't expect this.
Hey, bud.
Who, me?
Shh.
Me?
Right.
You mind
How
hearing the
would
audio
you
though,
like
Saka?
to buy an oh?
Check it again. I'm gonna see if we can get the audio. If I remember this is when you say you wanna buy an O.
Round and neat.
Nah, still no audio. Oh, no, see, Narissa message. Hey, Narissa. Nothing yet, Juma?
I'm gonna play it. Hold a second. I'm just gonna get it here on YouTube. And show you this thing. All right, here we go. Let's share it. Let me take this out of the stream now. Let me hide this, and let me do it this way. Let me share this media screen. Go to the particular Chrome tab, and share this audio. All right. Shared screen, showing tab. All right, let's hide ourselves now. Let me hide.
Hey, bud.
Who, me?
Shh.
Who, me?
Right. How would you like to buy an O? Round and neat. A nearly perfect circle. Tidy and complete. You can sing a pretty song with it like so. Oh, oh, oh. Isn't that catchy? Would you like to buy an O? Circular and sweet. Oh, looks just like a donut. Really good enough to eat. It'll cost you just a nickel.
A nickel?
Shh.
A nickel?
Right. So buy the O and take it home tonight. Now listen, when you buy this O, you get two sounds for the price of one. You get one sound that you can use for words like olive, ostrich, and ox. And for no extra money, you get another sound for words like ocean, over, old, and opening. So would you like to buy an O? I'm opening the door. It's not often that I offer. Well, could you ask for more? It'll cost you just a nickel.
A nickel?
Shh.
A nickel?
Right. So buy the O and take it home tonight. Don't ask any questions. Just buy the O and take it home tonight. You really love it. So buy the O and take it home tonight.
Okay, that was so you do your professional analysis of his sales technique. What you think he got right, what you think he got wrong. Everybody knows this one. Would you like to buy an O? Let me hear what you have to say. I know he wasn't expecting that.
I was not expecting that. The movie I always tell people that I think should be rated as a sales movie is Hitch.
Yes, it is.
It's a sales and a sales coaching movie, because remember, you have a coach who's helping people.
Sorry, you just kind of glitched out there.
Oh, yeah.
But go ahead.
No, I was saying it's just both. It's a sales and a sales coaching movie, because the sales coach, which is Will Smith, is helping people become better at selling themselves to their ideal clients. So to me, that I think a lot of people overlook it. But all right, classic Sesame Street. So I was writing it down. Now the first thing is he got Ernie's attention.
Right.
His message immediately got his attention. He started talking about his features, and then went into the benefits of buying an O. And then he got Ernie to try, because remember at some point Ernie also repeated the oo and the ah, the oo and the o, how he was saying it. Then he went into a
Right.
second set of features about the letter O. Then he introduced his price. Then he introduced a call to action for him so that he could make the purchase. Then he also gave additional benefits of all the types of words Ernie could actually use with the letter O. So
Right.
to me, I would say that was pretty good.
So if you had to
I
give
look
him
at that, I look at that as a retail experience versus B2B. And retail, you
Right.
want to be quick to give a call to action. And then
Right.
something to which Diatli always talks about is the tone. You realize he speaks in a whisper because he's talking to him on a one-on-one basis. And if Ernie
Right,
raises his voice, he tells him to lower it because he wants the voicing to match, and it gets Ernie to pay close attention to what he's saying. Because you start talking in a low voice, I start whispering to you, and it kind of gives the inkling that I don't want anybody else to know because I want you to get this value, not anybody else. That's why he doesn't want to shout out 2 nickels. No, shh, because other people coming to buy the O and then you can't get the O. That's why we're talking secretly together. So
all right,
I love it.
That's excellent analysis. So if you had to give him a grade from A to F, what would you give him?
I didn't see if Ernie bought it, so I would still give him a A minus. If he got Ernie to buy it, if Ernie bought it, the income would have been an A plus.
Yeah, we didn't get to see what happens after if he actually takes the O home and uses it for something useful. That's yeah. I saw that. That's always been on my mind. So I said, this would be good for Jarrod to look at. It's not necessarily the thing you would think of as like a sales clip, but maybe I don't know. Maybe in the future that could become a thing. I don't know. Maybe that might.
No, I am actually going to use that as a sales clip. I find that's brilliant, especially in retail training. Woo! Because I have some retail training coming up. I think it would work brilliant, especially based on that audience, because they would have no idea what Sesame Street is.
Yes.
They are generation behind me, so they'll be like, "What show is this?" Like,
yes. And the funny thing is that that's not the only clip of him selling stuff. There are others. This is probably the most popular
because remember he was a character, so he was always selling.
Right, he was always selling something, one thing or the other. All right, so we talked a lot about sales. Let's move on to LinkedIn. Now, we showed one of your videos earlier, and you really are a prolific content producer, and you're well loved by the platform. And so I noticed recently that you're doing a series of on LinkedIn tips. One of which was about optimization. Could you tell us why optimization of your LinkedIn profile is important?
It's simple because your LinkedIn is searchable. So, for example, other social media platforms, if you're on it, if somebody Google searches you, you can't find it. So remember, if you have stuff on like Google, YouTube, and LinkedIn, if you search it, it actually comes up. So if anybody's watching this and you go in incognito mode and Google yourself, your LinkedIn profile might probably come up if you have it. Now, the reason why I tell persons to optimize this now, if somebody's, let's just say, Juma, you have an opportunity coming up to do some video content for someone, but there are other people there. And then the person just decides to Google you and they see a LinkedIn profile come up. They will go to it, and because they have content, they get to see, they get to hear you, they get to understand you, and it creates an anchoring bias because people know what LinkedIn is seen as. It's the B2B platform. It's the important platform, it's the business one. So people look at it. So if it is that I find you there, it kind of adds credibility automatically versus if I found you on other platforms, because we see the other social media platforms as casual. So to me, if I have my stuff there, I have a better position. And this is extremely important, especially if I am a job seeker. Like, this plays into a huge role because recruiters spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. So if I have my profile there, I might actually go top of the pile versus anybody else. Even if it is, I might have social media platforms and you might see me doing wireless and stuff on Instagram or TikTok, etc. The LinkedIn is the one that's going to show persons, no, there's the suit and tie version of me. This is the professional version of Jarrod that comes to the table when you hire him.
So you mentioned anchoring bias. Could you explain to us what that is?
I probably am using it incorrectly, but let's put it this way. If the first thing that I see about you is what I remember about you versus anything else I hear after. So if LinkedIn comes up first and I see professional Juma, then that's all I think about. Even if it is I see something else that might be contrary to that opinion. So that's how I look at it. If it's the first thing I see, right, this is Juma, red polo, he like red, cool. That's what I think about Juma.
Right.
But if I see anything else, I wouldn't necessarily bring that up as a reference point. I only think about what I heard about it first.
Right. I saw. So you're saying not only is it important for you to be there, but you have to turn up a particular way, and it's important for you to be consistent.
Yeah, and that's why. So, and the reason why, and back to your point, the reason why you talk about the optimization, right? A lot of people think about it this way. Let's just say you have a profile and it's not optimized and it doesn't showcase you. You're missing out on opportunities, because if somebody Google searches you and they go to LinkedIn and they see nothing, that opportunity is gone. Whereas if you have content now, you have created the opportunity for yourself versus others. So you want to make sure that is why you want to make sure your profile is optimized, that it's current, it's up to date, and that it showcases you. Because remember, when these people are doing these searches, you probably have no idea. You probably might be sleeping. You need this to be speaking about you when you are not available.
Yeah, that's excellent advice. So we're saying that optimizing your LinkedIn platform can only bring benefits.
Listen, all the work I do now is generated from LinkedIn. Like yesterday, I had a call with a client, and I know the main contact, the CEO. We have conversations on LinkedIn all the time for years. And then she proceeds to tell me, no, I found you because of my daughter. And I'm like, the person's not even following me on LinkedIn. We're not connected. So I'm just like, right. So this person found me from just looking at my content. It was there. Right. Like, you need to understand these things. Like I did last month, I did a speaking event for Microsoft out in Jamaica, because they had their first ever Channel Connect event in the Caribbean. The person found me on LinkedIn. When I spoke to Sagicor, for all of Sagicor in the region, the person found me on LinkedIn. It's like, sorry, it's just an opportunity gold mine. People miss out on this.
So it's a gift that keeps on giving. Once you're there and you put content out, people keep on finding you.
Yep. And by the way, as I've explained to persons, this is what I use.
Right.
I have no fancy video. Like, yes, I have camera and ring lights and stuff, but all my content comes from this.
Right. I was wondering if I should pull that clip, but I left that one out.
Yeah, no, but it's just, no, for people who think fanciness, and like, even though I have a ring light now, like my first ring light was a lamp with a piece of paper over it. Like, I don't, like, one thing with me, I don't go fancy. I just like to get stuff done. Like, to me, getting stuff done is way better than getting it done great. Because, because time is of the essence, we can figure it out after.
Agreed. So getting it done, not perfect, done, agreed. I think that was one, that was one of my first or second videos that I put out that you commented on when I first started to be active on the platform.
Yeah.
I remember that really, really well. Because, interestingly, I put it out, I would have connected with you. You sent me a video DM, which people should do, by the way. That's a thing. Yep. And I had to go and figure out how I'm going to respond to Jarrod in this video. Now I have to try and figure it out now. So I had to go and figure out what video DMs. That's the first one I ever sent. I was wearing the same thing in that video DM that I sent to you that I was wearing in the video that spoke about what was it we said just now? About getting it done, not being perfect. The same clothes. So that's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
One last thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was going to say one last thing about LinkedIn that I found that you posted that was very impactful and interesting. You spoke about you actually, and this was months ago, you had a video where you had gone riding and you tried to repair the tire yourself.
Yeah.
And I guess the point of the video was to outsource the things that you're not good at and focus on the things that you're good at. You want to expand on that a little more?
Yeah, so just to give you an idea, I had to go riding up Shagaramas. This is not Bamboo Cathedral. This is the one that carries you up to the satellite that looks like the football. And I forgot to go to carry my bike to the bike shop to get the tire changed. So I took the tubes and I decided to do it myself. And again, with my short attention span comes little patience. It took me almost 4 hours to try and change the tires. And when I did, and then I thought I did it properly, from the time I rest my bike on the ground and start to pedal, the 2 bike tires blow out on me. Like it sounded like gunshots. And I say, pow, pow! And I had to put the bike back in my car and then walk up this hill, walk up this thing, which, by the way, is 16 miles total. 8 up, 8 down.
Wow.
Right? So I was pissed, but at the same time, it's like, it just proves the point. I keep telling persons, like, again, I have my conference coming up. I have an event planner. I have a communications person. I have my virtual assistant. And we have a couple people involved. I do not do anything that I do not like to do. I'm focused on the sales aspect of it. Think about it this way. Sometimes we pay people to wash our car. We pay people to cut our grass. Why? Yeah, we could do it, but we're not going to do it good. You probably get a D grade. Why is this person is an A+, this person is a scholar in cutting grass. So why am I going to spend 2-3 hours to cut grass when my grass man doing it in 20-25 minutes? I have time to waste? No. I'm gladly willing to pay that. Do I want to be out in hot sun? No. Do I want to have grass all over me? No. Do I want to rake up grass? No. What I want to do is sit down in my house and probably watch some TV or read a book. That benefits me. So that's what I mean by outsourcing weaknesses. A lot of persons think it's a cost, and it's not a cost. It is an investment back in your time. What you're not calculating is, what am I doing with that time that brings value back to me? And it doesn't necessarily have to be a revenue generating thing. It could be I could spend time with my family, or I could probably do 2-3 extra sales calls versus submitting admin work. But I'll pay it this way. Calvin Mendes, if anybody's familiar with the name, is one of the top insurance agents in the country, out of Guardian, right? Tell me how much assistance Calvin Mendes has. Make a guess.
I don't know. I mean, 2 or 3 maybe. I don't know. How much is that?
6.
That's 6 assistants? Ooh.
6. What is he focusing on? Being in front of the customer and selling. That's what he's good at. That's what he's great at. What he's not good at is what most people are in sales are, is paperwork. So you get people who are great in paperwork. And again, as you go up with the whole collaboration point, when I get great people all around me, the whole thing looks great. It looks amazing.
Right. That's good. That's a real good point. And you did mention your conference in what you were saying before. I agree with everything that you said. And yeah, I am. The deeper I get into business, the more I am doing that. I am taking stuff off of me and putting it on other people and allowing them, and it grows them too. It allows them to grow as well. They get better. They think that they're good at as well. All right. So you mentioned your sales conference, and let's jump into that right now. So your sales conference is Sales as a Profession, Mindshare before Market Share. Yeah, that's the name?
Correct.
So before we get into the actual conference of this year, tell us a little bit about Sales as a Profession and the history.
So Sales as a Profession is a combined effort between myself and Lyndon Braffett. We actually worked back when we were in Digicel back in, this would have been 2006, about 2008, 2009. And then because like in 2017, 2018, both of us was actually just posting content a lot on our individual pages. And because we knew each other, we said, hey, let's just meet up and start doing this together. Because again, collaboration wins. And in November, was it November 2019 or 2018, we started doing lives. And we started on Instagram. Then we started to do networking events. And from the networking events, we decided, let's do a conference. So June 18th, 2019 was the first Sales as a Profession conference where we had, I think, about 12 speakers total.
Right.
Just talking on different things sales. But the thing about it was that it was all local people, and we still have only all local people now, because one of the things we realize is that there is a lot of talent down here, a lot of great sales professionals, a lot of great leaders, a lot of great talent, and we always want to bring that to the forefront, and that is one of the things we want to focus on. So the conference the first year was about 150 people because we maxed out the chamber, a lot of great reviews. Last year, because of the pandemic, we actually switched to virtual. So we were the first people to go virtual. Notice how much first we like to do. That's why you keep my attention.
Right.
First sales conference, first virtual sales conference. And by the way, not a Zoom call. We actually use a virtual platform called below, right? And then that had about 137 people. This year, I think, given with everything with the pandemic, we should be just about 100, 120 in between that bracket in terms of attendees, which is great. But again, we have about 8 speakers in the conference, just talking about everything sales. And the whole concept of it is, given everything that's happening now, given how crazy and how busy everybody is, how do you maintain mindshare so that when it is the customer is ready to buy, they make the purchase, and therefore you help get additional market share? So all the speakers on the day is just going to be talking about things from different perspectives, from a leadership perspective, a marketing perspective, an event perspective, a data perspective, a CRM perspective, or to show you what you can do to be top of mind with your customers. So when they're ready to buy, they say Juma, they say Narissa, They call your name in particular when it is that you want to get that business done.
Yeah, I saw that you made a point to say it's not a Zoom meeting and to describe the platform that you're going to use. You want to expand a little bit more on that, like the experience people will have?
So, well, here's the reason why a lot of people are virtual conference call burnt out. So, in other words, they're tired of Zoom, you're tired of Teams, you're tired of just those regular things looking at screens. The platform here below allows you to look at stuff in a virtual platform. So in other words, you can actually see it in like a virtual space. So it looks like a 3D room, and you can click to go into the conference room to hear the speakers, or you could click to go into the networking room to talk to individuals. You could have separate chats. You could walk into a virtual speaker booth area, sponsor booth area, so you could see the sponsor booths, their products and services, even talk to some of the representatives from there, so that it kind of gives you a lot more going on and just actually being in front of the screen for the entire day. Like again, my attention span is short, so I was glad our event planner found this, because I was like, right, that's how we keep people attentive. Because after every event, after every speaker, you have a short 5-minute break, which means you could jump into the networking room, meet people, exchange business cards, jump back into the call. Because the thing is, you actually don't even need to be in the speaker room when these speakers are on. You can actually just be in the networking room talking to somebody and having a one-on-one meeting virtually via video. So we do all of those things. So and you have the ability as an individual attendee to do it.
Okay, so what is the cost for this great sales experience at the conference?
Oh, it is only $267 TT or 40 US, depending on where you're from, because we have some people, 1 or 2 people from the Caribbean, Barbados, Jamaica, attending as well. Right. That's and that is actually lower than last year. So, for example, last year I think the tickets were $400 or $450, and this year it's less, and we're giving you more speakers. The first year of the conference tickets were $750. So we know how to deliver value.
Excellent. And where can people register?
You can go straight on our website, salesisaprofession.com. You could use your Visa debit card to make the payment, and you get all the information there. Because by over this weekend on Monday, you'll actually be getting the emails with all your login information and credentials and stuff, because users could actually go in there and build their profiles, build an avatar, so that they could start networking with people and everything. So yeah, all of that you could create, everything.
So you have a full pre-conference experience as well.
Yep, you could join 24 hours before our network. We will be in that room as well. And after the conference as well, we would actually, I think because we did it last year, we would actually leave all the speaker talks up for about, I think it's 3 to 6 months. So even if you miss out 1 or 2 stuff, you could go back and actually enjoy the replay.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. It sounds like a really excellent conference. And I do hope that you get oversubscribed, although in a virtual space that's not possible.
That is the beauty of it. You can't get oversubscribed. That is one good thing. Yeah, like honestly, even though the cost of doing virtual is still similar, because the back end stuff is a lot of work you have to do. When you look at the inconvenience sometimes, like when we did our conference in the chamber the first year, like that logistics of people it was fun, but it was a lot of headache.
Right.
Because we literally ran out the room. It had people like shoulder to shoulder. It had some people standing up in the back. But when you're virtual now, the only thing you have to consider with the platforms, of course, is that they give you a 0 to 100, 101 to 500. So we need 101 to 500 bracket. So, I mean, I'm not boasting, but I'm not downplaying. I know we're not going to cross 500, but we're in a good bracket in case we get influx. We could deal with it.
Okay, really, really excellent. So, Jarrod, it was great talking with you about sales and LinkedIn and the conference. You can just tell everybody, I know you're on LinkedIn, but just tell everybody where they can find you in other places if you want them to go there and check you out or follow you or just interact with you on social media. Where can they find you?
Yeah, but no, first let me say, Juma, I for one, I'm enjoying all the content and everything you're putting out. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And some, like, for me, I'm looking at it and just thinking, these are a lot of the questions I see people asking, because you're breaking it down to a very simple science. So I would tell you, continue doing it, because video for me is what the future of all content is. Like, yes, we'll have text and everything, but video, especially when you're in a business of trying to sell what you do, video is the only thing that you should be focused on more than anything else. So please don't stop doing it. I enjoy your content every time I see it come across my feed.
Thanks,
right?
man. I
And
appreciate
for
that.
anybody, anybody who's watching, you could just copy and paste Jarrod Best Michelle, and you could Google it. You could find me on LinkedIn. I spend most of my time there. You can find me on Instagram. Those are my two main platforms. Or you can check me out on my website at jarrodbestmichelle.com.
Excellent, excellent. So thanks everybody for tuning into this live stream. It was a spontaneous live,
Yes.
but as Jarrod discovered, it wasn't really that spontaneous. So thanks everybody.
Real research for this boy. This is nice. You did some serious research. I'm impressed.
Yeah. I jump in a little bit. I didn't want to come with nothing to say. So it's always good to talk about things that are relevant and that will be helpful for the people who are tuning on. So it's good.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thanks again. And we will see you soon. Later.